they are often considered terrors of the deep. With their rows of razor-sharp teeth and iconic dorsal fins, sharks are arguably the most intimidating creatures of the deep sea. And for good reason. Those sharp teeth aren't just intimidating to look at, they mean business. Sharks have the strongest bite force on the planet. They can generate up to 40,000 pounds of pressure per square inch in a single bite. But there's a lot more to sharks than their menacing mouth and destructive bite. Let's take a look at some of the most fascinating facts about one of nature's most famous predators. You may think the trick is just to avoid sharks while you're swimming. Try as you might, there is no hiding from a shark. It can sense you from your body's electricity. Sharks have an array of electroreceptors in the pores around their mouths. These receptors can detect tiny electromagnetic fields made by things as seemingly inconsequential as muscle contractions or movements in living organisms. In the conductive environment of seawater, sharks can pick up the voltage fluctuations of just 10 millionths of a volt. You've likely heard how sensitive sharks are to blood in the water. Predatory evolution has turned these sea dwellers into impressive smelling machines. A shark can sniff out fish extracts that make up only 1 part for every 10 billion parts. Some research shows that sharks are able to respond to 1 part of blood for every 1 million parts of water. While bony fish have an air-filled swim bladder to control buoyancy, sharks don't. They use their large oily livers as a kind of internal flotation device. Sharks' eyes are on the sides of their heads, so they have an amazingly wide field of vision, spanning nearly 360 degrees. Their panoramic view of the undersea world is inhibited only by 2 blind spots, one in the front of the snout and the other directly behind the head. They also like to roll their eyes, not because they're annoyed or frustrated. Rather, great white sharks roll their eyes to the back of their heads whenever they attack, in order to protect their eyes from getting damaged. After all, they don't have eyelids to protect their eyes. If you think their huge size might make them slow, you're in for a surprise. Great white sharks can jump up to 10 feet or 3 meters above the surface of the water at 25 miles per hour. That's 40 kilometers per hour. Though not all sharks are massive deep-sea terrors. Sharks come in all sizes. While the great white shark can grow as long as 40 feet, the dwarf lantern shark is smaller than a human hand. The great white sharks breathe by a process called ram ventilation. As they swim along, the water rams into their mouths, and they let it out through their gill slits to extract the oxygen they need. Therefore, if they stop moving, they'll stop breathing and they will die. But if great white sharks need to keep moving, then how do they sleep? Sharks' spinal cords regulate their movement, not their brains, so they can shut down their brains and still keep swimming. Now, while sharks do have spinal cords, they don't have spines like you and I do. In fact, sharks have no bones. They have cartilage that makes up their skeleton, so when they die, the salt water dissolves every part of them except their teeth. Sharks are one of the oldest predators still alive, having swum in the ocean over the last 450 million years. That makes them an evolutionary predecessor of the dinosaurs by at least 200 million years, and one of the most advanced predatory creatures because of this. So, when you see a sign that says shark-infested waters, just remember, the water isn't infested by sharks, it's infested by humans. The sharks have been there for nearly 500 million years.